Hello and welcome to this episode of Backyard Fitness and Stuff. I'm your host Wyatt, WN, YouTube rapper, YouTube actor, cosplay nerd, overall enthusiast, a lot of things. This is my variety channel, that is me. Hello, I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Today, we are going to be reacting to Ben 10, Echo Echo's Homeworld. This is part of the And Beyond series my boy Ryan does. He's the one that is doing the art for the next EP. He did the first one, Rap and Meditate. And a comment down below said you need to react to more Ink Tank stuff, and I was like, you know what, I sure haven't checked in with Ink Tank in a while, so I came over here to see if there's any more of my favorite And Beyond series, and there is. I'm gonna start with Echo Echoes. The Danny Phantom Exploring the Ghost Zone And Beyond is in there too. The other two And Beyonds I watched were from Ben 10 like monsters, homeworlds and stuff, so I kind of wanted to stick with that theme. If I'm missing something by not watching the Danny Phantom one, let me know and I'll go watch it after this. 3, 2, 1. Get the volume right.
System. No. Zolbrine. Anyway, good evening, extranet and multidimensional travelers. Welcome back to And Beyond, where we plunge into the void and explore our ever-expanding multiverse. I am your host, the R300 Orion IT Systems
Ryan.
But you can call me Horace. Today we'll be continuing our extraterrestrial exploration on the perfectly pitched planet of Sonarosia. And please equip your earplugs. We don't want anyone's liquefied brain matter spilling out.
I'll do my best. Please keep your hands and feet in the interdimensional space travel vehicle at all times. I love it.
Sonarosia, the most forgotten planet in its system, on the surface appears to be lifeless. This is made very evident by the lack of floral life or bodies of water, as well as the crumbling cities and structures of a previous civilization. Composed mainly of stone and sand, the planet's structure is riddled with immense gorges and canyons that cut deep into the mantle. Thanks to the various openings to its mantle, the planet's rotational force has many imbalances and acts more as an electromagnetic pole than a gravitational one. Because the size of the planet, the electromagnetic pole generated is so strong it attracts any and all radio waves and frequencies from up to a parsec away. The abundance of frequencies paired with the EM pole creates a very dense ionosphere surrounding the planet.
Pause. You know what's funny? The way that he's infused science with his explanation of the creatures and the planets is what really gets you sucked in to believe in, oh, this seems real. You know what I'm saying? Or it is much more realistic than it would otherwise be. The reason I say that is what he was just talking about here really reminded me of a video that I watched recently about neutrinos coming from space and penetrating into the ice in like Antarctica and the South Pole and stuff. Crazy. I just wanted to mention that because he's doing a great job. 3, 2, 1.
Resulting in frequent sand and lightning storms, making planetary travel very difficult. But it wasn't always like this. Centuries ago, Sonarosia was a thriving, technologically advanced planet home to a species known as the Alamarans. Bipedal humanoid beings with green-blue skin and a very weak physique. But what they lacked in physical prowess, they more than made up for in intellect. As a result of their hyper-intelligence, they lived by a code of logic. If something was deemed illogical, they would give it no thought. This would include emotions and empathy. This mindset led them to make amazing and destructive breakthroughs in technology, bringing their planet up to a tech level 13. Over time, they would start selling this technology off-world and were met with high demand.
Alright.
This caused over-harvesting of raw materials and pollution, inevitably leading to the death of their planet. Some say the species died with it. Others believe they simply left to continue their work where they could find materials.
They went to go chase the bag.
Though it seems that life is long since gone from Sonarosia, there are still 2 species making quite a racket down here.
Okay. What is that Pokemon? That Ben 10 monster.
Starting on the surface, we have the Sanovox, bipedal biomechanical hybrid creatures composed of high ionized frequencies hosted in a mechanical body. Through the combination of abandoned Alamaran technology and the harsh Sonorosian lightning storms, this species was created, quite literally, by catching lightning in a bottle.
Oh,
Upon
that's
being
awesome.
grounded in the mechanical construct, the ionized frequencies funneled into it become trapped inside and build up energy, similar to a Leyden jar. Over time, this energy becomes so great it begins to meld and manifest the signals and frequencies into a form of thought and speech, becoming a consciousness.
Oh, that's
These
cool.
are the Sanovox. Ranging in size dependent on their vessel, all Sanovox have two prevalent abilities. Vibrational manipulation by speeding up or slowing down their own frequential forms and channeling the physical waves through their suits, and dialinguistics, being able to understand any language they hear by absorbing in its sound waves and converting them into a frequency. This also works
you
on
smell
all
very
other
nice.
forms of frequency. They use both these abilities on a daily basis in
Death
search
is an
for
illusion.
others. Sanovox spend their days on the surface, trudging through the lightning and sandstorms trying to find others. From the day they are created, Sanovox are alone, waking up in their harsh environment with nothing but a hum of voices and sounds from the sky. These sounds are just frequencies they don't realize that they're able to hear. They don't know how or why they're there, or what they even are, so they search. Searching for others of their kind in hopes that they can learn. When they do eventually find others, they will typically form a tribe, roaming around from small settlements that they've made from the remnants of the Alamaran society. A feature of every settlement is a large mound of mechanical constructs in the center acting as a lightning rod. The Sandbox collect and pile up any constructs around their settlements so that if lightning strikes and any new ones are created, they won't come into the world alone.
Oh, that's so sweet. Hi,
But the
friend.
Sandbox are
Welcome.
less lonely than they think. They just need to venture a bit lower than the surface.
Uh-oh. Pause.
In the caverns and underground of Sonorosia, we have the home of the Sonorosians. Non-natural occurring bipedal biomechanical creatures composed of a silicon-based
their
construct and stored
mouths.
sound waves. Sonorosians were originally created by the Alamorans to perform menial tasks. They were designed specifically to be as useful as an entire labor union, but small enough to not be in the way. They had multiple models for
What's
various
similar
tasks.
between these is they're like
Because
leftovers.
silicone was the most abundant resource that they had the most of and almost no use for, the Alamarans developed a biogel bonding agent with silicone rubber to create a cheap, self-replicating host that make up the Sonorosian body. They use sound waves to power these bodies because silicone is an excellent absorber of them, and due to the constant noise from construction and the bustling cities, they would have a constant source of power that they would not need to monitor. This also helped keep the sounds of the construction from bothering the Alamarans when trying to think. Similarly to the mechamorphs of Galvin B, the Alamarans didn't intend for the Sonorosians to achieve sentience or become living. But it's said that over time, from the ionized atmosphere affecting the sound waves they absorb, something similar to the Sanovox occurred where the sound waves themselves became sentient within their hosts, or that they had created the host themselves to advance unintentionally. No one knows for sure, and the Alamarans aren't exactly around anymore to ask, so we may never know exactly how
They went to
came
go chase the
be.
bag.
When the planet started to die, the Sonorosians migrated underground to avoid the harsh surface weather. With their bodies being made so cheaply, they're not very durable, and can be harmed or destroyed very easily.
Still sad.
The only time they will venture to the surface is to collect necessary materials they need for construction. When they venture out, the Sonorosians will send out replicants or echoes of themselves. The only connection
Smart.
between these echoes and the original is the host material. Though the echoes are as sapient as the original, they lack any ability to communicate with the others or the original when separated, and cannot feel when an echo is harmed or destroyed. This will lead to a single Sonorosian sending out multiple pods of echoes at a time, assuming that most will not return. Despite this harsh harvesting method, by nature Sonorosians are very friendly and even enjoy helping others, probably as a result of them being designed as assistants. Sonorosians spend their days building new homes in the safety of their caverns, also taking advantage of the old underground mining and transport tunnels for fast traveling between sites.
Fast travel. High key, very important.
Though separated geologically, the Sonorosians and Sanovox are no strangers to each other.
Ah,
Frequenting a material
glad they
trade
know
and
each
assisted
other.
labor, this has resulted in a belief system known as the Great Hum. This belief system came to be shortly after the first few interactions among the species, as Sonorosians would regale in hazy memories of their long-gone masters, and the Sanovox would tell of the unknown voices and sounds they hear from the sky. Both species began to theorize and believe that the sounds the Sanovox were hearing are from the Alamarans attempting to contact them.
This is also wholesome and
In
sad.
actuality, these are just random signals and frequencies bouncing around space that are picked up by Sonorosia's ionosphere. To this day, neither species has been able to make out any clear message from the Great Hum, but they have come up with their own interpretation, believing the message is that the Masters will return when the planet is suitable for them. This message is what drives both species to spend their days constructing settlements and attempting to repair old technologies from the scraps left behind by their Masters, in hopes that one day they may return and bring life back to the
The
planet.
leftovers planet. The sweet, wholesome leftovers planet.
Sonorosia, a harsh world to live in for sure, but thankfully, we were just visiting. Make sure you plunge back into the void sometime and join me on another extraterrestrial exploration. This is Horace signing
Saying ah.
Bring it! Jacket, sunscreen.
I'll bring sunscreen. To be continued. Hell yeah. Well, Ryan, Ink Tank, great as always. I really liked this episode, and I felt like that it actually went really fast, which is good. That means the pacing was solid, and I could have watched a lot more of it. That was awesome. This was honestly probably one of my favorites, which means that you're just getting better and better, and probably one of the more believable episodes because of the way that you intertwined the science and reference things that exist in real life. Very sweet, very sad, very wholesome. If you like that or like this or like any of this, leave a like. If you dislike that or you dislike this, or if you hate me, leave a dislike. I'll be putting all their info down in the description below. You know, Discord, Patreon, they're 5 years later, their other channels, stuff like that. If you want to check out that, this, any of that, it'll be in the description. And until next time, Backyard Fitness and stuff. Woo!